Alright guys, time for another comic review, another book sent to me by my friend Chris. Thank you once again, brother. And today we're going to be talking about G.I. Joe, the Cobra Strikes. This is the next chapter in the Energon universe, and this is the official start of the the Image universe, the Energon universe start of G.I. Joe. We've had, of course, like the miniseries focusing on Scarlet, Destro, Cobra Commander, and Duke, but this is like the real start of G.I. Joe, which I have to be honest is I've really been like, it's been really cool how they've been really building the G.I. Joe side of the Energon universe. Basically, rather than just explode with G.I. Joe right out the gate, it's like, no, this is more of a fallout of what's going on with Transformers. And I really do like that. I also really enjoy how they're not playing into a lot of like characters you usually see in G.I. Joe. Like, by now, you'd think we'd have Snake Eyes, right? Like, right out the gate, you'd think we'd have Snake Eyes. No, that's not the case. They don't bring up anything that happened in the Scarlet book. Not to say that's that's unnecessary reading. I'm not saying the Scarlet book by Kelly Thompson is unnecessary reading. That's just a plot line that's for later. I feel like, yeah, in the next few volumes, which, again, I'm reading in trade, so that'll probably be touched on in the next few volumes. But, yeah. So I'm just shocked that like they're not going with like the major G.I. Joe a lot of major G.I. Joe characters. And also what's fascinating is that this G.I. Joe canon is basically anything can go. Like, it's very much like with the Transformer side of the Energon universe, where it's like, don't get attached to characters, and also anything's possible. Like, it's not following a set rule or whatever. So yeah. This story basically begins with the start of the G.I. Joe team, so it's not like hundreds of Joes, and I imagine we're going to have like a cycle of different characters on this team. And keep in mind, G.I. Joe in this continuity was not meant to fight Cobra. They were meant as a task force to battle the Cybertronians. That was the whole thing with Duke, was that he was put in charge of G.I. Joe in order to combat Cybertron. It's just on a mission to find a piece of Cybertron that fell to Earth during Volume 2 and recover it, is that they encountered Cobra, and that led to a bigger conspiracy. So now they're at war with Cobra, but they're also like, yeah, that's not our thing. Like, we have to contend with Cobra because they're after the same things we are. They just are very clearly not the good guys. So I like that new spin. I do like that, like, G.I. Joe and Cobra are basically being built from the same thing, is that, you know, it's the consequences of Cybertron's war. So I really do like that. I really do like how that's being built and how that's being built up. Like I said, don't get attached to a lot of to some characters, and I feel like that's going to be the case. Is that G.I. Joe is meant to be a covert ops team, and I imagine that several team members will be either taken off or killed. The big question is Baroness. Like I said, when they announced Baroness was going to be part of G.I. Joe, there's so many questions regarding her, and we don't know her. We still don't know where her loyalties lie. She is part of the Joes right now, but how long will that last? Will she be seduced by, you know, Destro? Will she join Cobra? Will she stay on the Joes? Will she be a double agent? Will she be a triple agent? So I really do like this this angle with Baroness, which has been played with a few times over, but it's almost like, it's actually kind of funny. A lot of this does remind me of the first G.I. Joe live-action movie, and yet it does it better. Like it took the general idea of that universe of that god-awful movie. The sequel I like. Not to say it's great, but I like the sequel way more. But it takes a lot of that idea of the first movie and essentially just goes, yeah, there are ideas in there, like, again, Baroness is a Joe. It's really cool. I really do like that they're playing with that. And I also like how this and the Energon universe on a whole has basically been playing with lesser-known characters. Like, again, we do have, like, Duke and Scarlet out there, along with Flint and Lady J, but they're not in here. But we have other characters that are getting a lot of love, like CoverGirl, Rock and Roll, Stalker. You know, it's not just your big names. Like I said, they're really saving Snake Eyes for something special. So I can only imagine what Joshua Williamson's going to do with Snake Eyes. Yeah, the action is really solid. The artwork by this is written by Joshua Williamson. I think you guys, Tom Riley with artwork by Jordy Belair, excuse me. It's really solid. Like it feels. There's like there's some bright vibrancy to it, and also like Joshua Williamson knows how to write an action sequence. Man, he is so good at writing a damn action sequence. It's not even funny. So I'm really excited. Joshua Williamson, I've been enjoying more. I think like as a writer, he's really starting to grow more and more, and it's very clear that he knows his Joe lore. He really knows his Joe lore and really knows how to play with this universe. I also really like how terrifying Cobra Commander remains. Like, again, this is very much like if the 80s Cobra Commander had the violent tendencies and just the violent tendencies and the aura of IDW's Cobra Commander. It's also very clear that, like, again, as you guys know, Cobra Law plays a role in here, but Destro doesn't know what Cobra Law is. So I love that Cobra Commander is basically treated like even an enigma to his own people. And yeah, this series, how it plays with certain characters, everything here is really cool. And how it's clearly building, we are going to be getting, I think very soon, a G.I. Joe versus Transformers event coming very soon, between Quintesson War and the Dreadnought War going on. It's very clear that, G.I. Joe versus Transformers we're getting closer and closer to the end game, and it'll be interesting to see. Again, I'm not reading ongoing, so I can't really tell you guys what's going to happen next. So, yeah. This series, like the Energon universe on a whole, just absolutely continues to slap. I have not found a book I did not like. I have not found a single goddamn book I have hated or thought, it's okay. Even Void Rivals, as slow as like some of the pacing I have problems with, still comes out with good writing and still keeps me intrigued to follow along with the series. So, yeah. I'm still curious to see how that'll, Kirkman's writing will transition over to Transformers, but again, Dan Mora on artwork should carry it. Anyway, so, like I said, if you've been reading the Energon universe, pick this up. It's finally cool to see, this variant of G.I. Joe come together, and I'm sure big things are going to be coming soon in the near future. But anyway, once again, I'd like to thank my good friend Chris for sending me this book, and if you have read G.I. Joe, The Cobra Strikes, let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of it. Other than that, I hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.